Good evening, everybody. It's Friday, January 17th. I apologize for it's been a couple days since I posted a video up here, and there's been updates in the situation out here in St. Helens. I know in my last video I talked about um, them having a board meeting that night. In between my video and the scheduled time of the board meeting started, somebody took it upon themselves to start making threats on social media against the school board. We're talking gathering up ex-military men, showing up with their and exercising their Second Amendment rights. So I don't disagree with Second Amendment rights, but I do disagree with using those in a situation like this. Doesn't help our cause out any. Us parents that are working hard to raise awareness, to stand strong in the face of the school board. It's just not doing any favors to us. So it's not the way to do things, friends. So please, if you're out here in St. Helens and you're by chance watching my videos, it's not the way we need to do things. It's absolutely not. Showing up and in solidarity for each other in a common cause, such as, demanding the school board to resign. That's what we need. We don't need people showing up to intimidate the school board. It's not the way you do things. It's not the way things are going to get done. So if anything, it's just hurting our cause and giving them a chance to look like the victim. And they're not the victims. There's 10, 12 plus kids here in St. Helens so far that are the victims. So let's not do them a disservice by calling for violence when we need this situation to resolve itself by getting the board out of there. So with that being said, the school board meeting was a virtual meeting. They like to pat themselves on the back. Steve Webb, our interim superintendent, was slated for a 90-day contract. It's turned out it's only going to be 60. He's resigning at the end of this month. Because, like I said in my last video, he has met the goals that the board had set for him. So, the board that we don't trust any decisions that they make. So now, they picked this guy. Now they're going to institute a search for another interim superintendent to last through the school year. So, if they don't get it done within a certain time frame, from what I understand, Governor Tina Kotek of Oregon is going to step in and appoint a superintendent that she chooses. So at this point in time, that's kind of where we're at. I personally would much rather a appointed superintendent by the governor over anybody the school board picks. And they had the audacity to, one of them who's been linked with possible financial crimes. I'm not going to say names because I don't know what the details are on that. It's just, rumblings that I've heard here in town. So, but this board member suggested, we have qualified candidates here in Columbia County to apply for that job. And we absolutely need somebody from outside. We don't need somebody that's in Columbia County that's part of the Good Old Boy Network. I mean, it's just getting to be comical at this point. And I'm not joking when I talk Good Old Boy Network. We're talking, there's lots and lots of connections here in St. Helens. And part of the problem is we're a small rural community, 12,000 people. There's not a lot of eyes on us. So as far as accountability goes, I mean, there's not really any accountability. So, I don't want to make these political these posts, these videos that I'm making. I just want to let people know how I feel as a parent of 2 kids in the district, how I feel on what everything's going on. So, I still, at this point in time, I feel worse at this point in time than I do when this first broke back in November. So, and I've got a lot, there's a lot of detractors out there and a lot of people that disagree with what me and a core group of parents are saying. Like I said in my previous videos, we've been labeled the pitchfork mafia. So, I'll wear that proudly. It's actually a badass name. So, and if you're going to label me that for protecting my kids, then I'll wear that proudly. all day long. So, keep calling me that. Keep calling my wife that. We don't care. I do know, I was just talking to my wife before I came into my little hobby area to make this video, that she's going to go down to the courthouse and start looking into what needs to be done to recall the board members that still have a couple of years left on their term. So, and then we'll do what we have to do there. And then, we've got 3 coming due in June for re-election. So, I've been kicking around the idea, if I have to, I'll throw my name in the hat. I hope enough qualified people come forward that doesn't have to be the case, because although I'm awesome and I'm an extremely smart guy and, I rock it at my job, I just don't know if I'm qualified to be would be the right fit, if I'm qualified enough to be the right fit. Obviously I care about the kids. Safety should be first. So, that would be my primary running thing. So, I've got a few weeks to decide. I'm going to just kind of keep my ear to the pavement and see what's happening out here in St. Helens. My wife's been really working hard. We've got a meeting coming up on Wednesday, the 22nd, that as long as some, crazy ass militiamen don't show up or start threatening them online again, it'll be in person, so we'll be able to address the board face to face. So I know that several women, my wife included, have been working on speeches that kind of leave no doubt as to the fact that the school board is mandatory reporters failed in their job and that they need to go. It's the news ran a story last night about the virtual meeting and about how the school board's, facing calls to resign. And that's absolutely true. We do have a large number of people out here that, are connected in some way to the board or to the schools. And, they're not as anxious as the rest of us to get the school board out. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen. But as a parent, I'm going to continue to make TikToks, until the ban takes place. So I will probably make another video this weekend. I do have a YouTube channel that I had originally set up for remote control car related content. So I'll be posting my videos there. But yeah, it's getting to the point where we've got to start actually doing things. So I was talking to my wife tonight. She's going to start working with the other women she's been working with, but they're going to start contacting Oregon state representatives to potentially start working on the bill. We refer to it as the pass the trash, but basically it's a policy where teachers can resign and not be fired, and with the ability to move forward as a teacher in another school district, which is what happened with Eric Stearns, who's currently sitting in Columbia County Jail right now with 17 sex abuse related charges against him. So, and I do know that some of the victims in his case have retained a lawyer, and I'm sure they're going to sue the school district. So who knows what's going to cost them this time. The last one cost them $3.5 million, which was the biggest award ever given by a school district in the state of Oregon in history. So, it's not really a distinction I would be proud of. So who knows what this next one's going to cost. So, I'll just keep making these videos. The ones I'm doing here on TikTok are strictly about this situation, how I feel as a parent. On top of that, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but my daughter is autistic. So, she's a vulnerable kid. So, I've got really a vested interest in this whole thing. So I've gone up against fellow community members. I've been told to run for school board numerous times if I care that much. And, at what point do you even give a shit about the school board? And it's about the kids. I mean, for God's sake, what else is it about? I mean, that's all I've maintained from the beginning. This is about kids' safety, my kids' safety, fellow residents of St. Helens kids' safety. So anyway, give me a follow. Please share this video. If you know people in St. Helens, please tell them to show up to the next school board meeting. We need them. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you on the next one.